If you've ever thought, why do people walk all over me when I'm just trying to be kind? This video is for you. Let me be clear. You are not weak for being kind. However, when kindness becomes a compulsion, a way to earn love, avoid conflict, or feel safe, then it turns into a liability. In dark psychology, niceness is seen as a signal. It's a tell. It's a code word for, I won't push back, no matter what you do. Here's how it works. Firstly, people pleasing exposes a lack of boundaries. What I need you to understand, beautiful, is that the moment that you start anticipating other people's needs before your own, and I'm not talking about your children here, okay? That's a mama thing that we're all going to do. But other random people or people around about you, you are signaling that you'll abandon yourself to keep the peace. Now, I need you to let me know in the comments if you already have abandoned yourself to keep the peace in various situations in your life. I need you to know that manipulators, they read this instantly. They can read it like a book. They can read you like a book. There are certain things you might do or say, but when you're constantly bending, being super flexible, just to keep the peace, just to make sure you're helping, that's a red flag. In fact, it's like the phrase, it's like a red rag to a bull. It's like saying, hey, come, I'm easy to manipulate. You can manipulate me. So what do? They test your limits. And people love, have you ever noticed that? You've probably not even realized that people are doing this to you. People are testing your limits every single day. They'll test your limits. And if you don't hold them, they'll control you. People can test you in all sorts of weird ways. Don't budge, okay? But seriously, people pleasing, you can see it a mile away. People pleasing isn't about cooperating. It's not about helping. It's not about being reciprocating in a situation. It's actually whereby you put your needs last and someone else's needs as more valuable than your own. And that's what I mean by people pleasing. Now, what you'll find then is that empathetic generosity becomes currency in the wrong hands. Because you know what? If you're the nice girl who always forgives, who always explains, who always gives just one more chance, you become very easy to use and to abuse. So what do people do? They'll take your help, they'll take your energy, they'll take your support, and they'll offer absolutely nothing in return. And why would they? Because you've shown that you're just going to keep giving anyway. It's like you and I going to the cash machine, going to the ATM, and we just put our PIN number in, and before we even put our card in, before we even prove that we are who we are, the money just starts pouring out. It just keeps coming out. It just keeps shooting out. And you're like, whoa, bingo, I've got the jackpot here. Wow, great. So what do? You put the card in again. Don't need your PIN number, but all the money starts coming out. It's like, oh, okay, this is great. It's not mine, but I'll take it. That's exactly what I mean by empathic generosity. Empathic, empathetic, it becomes currency in the wrong hands. Because if people know that you're an empath, they know that you're always going to forgive them. You're always going to take their word for it. Then they have got someone who is a very easy resource to use. One of my clients actually recently told me that she'd been on holiday at the pool, and they'd befriended this couple who had a child that was of a similar age as their child. And one day, the woman started to say, "Hey, why doesn't your child come over and play with mine at the pool? We'll look after him. If you want to go to the spa or if you want to go here, we can do that for half an hour." And she's like, "Are you sure?" And she said, "Yeah, sure." They'd gotten to know each other, and she said, "Sure, it's no problem. I'll be right here. My husband and I are here anyway. Here's my mobile number. You can contact me, whatever." So next thing you know, she went to the spa. She felt a bit, "Oh, wow, this is lovely. I have not enjoyed myself like this for a while." The next day, what happened? The lady came over. "Hey, would you mind looking after young," let's call him Tom. "Would you mind looking after my son Tom today?" And she, of course, said, "Oh yeah, no problem at all." Now, the problem actually was that they had planned to go and do a family excursion later that day. But yeah, no problem. "Listen, we're going on this excursion in an hour. As long as you're back for then, no problem." So the hour came and went. And did the lady come back? No, she did not. She did not appear. So the client contacted her on her phone, but the phone was ringing out, nowhere to be seen. Okay, this is strange. We've got an excursion planned, we've reserved our tickets, whatever. Nowhere to be seen. Literally 3 hours later, this holidaymaker shows up with her husband. "Hey, how has he been?" Not even one apology about the time. Knowing fine well that they were due to go out on this holiday, they are going out on this excursion, they planned it, it was all organised. And they ended up sitting there by the pool for 3 hours when they had all these other amazing plans. They missed out on their plans, and it was just an absolute disaster. But the weirdest thing about it was that the other, let's just call her Holiday Diva, Holiday Diva didn't even decide to apologise. She didn't acknowledge that she was late. She actually asked my client, "Oh yeah, so have you got any nice plans for today?" And she said, "Well, yeah, actually we were supposed to be going on an excursion, but you didn't actually show up and I tried to call you." "Oh yeah, I'm so sorry, my phone was out of battery." It wasn't, it was ringing out. Not an apology, nothing. And then the next day proceeded to start with the whole thing again. "Hey, do you want your little one to come over and maybe you could watch him tonight for us, that we can go out for dinner?" And she literally felt so bemused, shocked by the whole situation. That, have you ever been in that situation where you are put in a really awkward position but you don't know what to say? And my client, instead of it, because we hadn't spoken about this, obviously this is just a random thing that happened before this point, she was so pretty much dumbfounded by the whole situation that she was just like, "Oh no, sorry, we can't manage that today." And they literally avoided them for the rest of the holiday, because she was like, "Okay, that's a massive red flag," but didn't have the confidence to actually say, "Well, no, because you'll probably not show up today again. We have other plans, and no, we're not going to babysit your kid all night because the way things are going, you won't show up again till the next day." And again, when you're put in an awkward situation, when people can easily set things up and frames things in order to benefit themselves. Okay, but this woman was looking for a free childminder for the whole holiday. And that's very different from reciprocating and being trustworthy. And I get the whole scenario. It's nice when kids can play with each other, but it's very important to be honest in situations like that. This can happen when you have, let's just be honest, nice girl vibe. When you give out that vibe that I'm actually just so nice, I want to please you, I'm here to make you happy, I'm really sweet and lovely. And do you know, nature demonstrates this so beautifully for us. Have you ever seen one of the most beautiful high vibration flowers that you can get? The rose. Well, its stem is covered in thorns. And why is that? Why do you think? Well, nature is demonstrating to us that the beautiful flower has to have thorns as a protection mechanism to protect the beautiful flower. Your thorns are your boundaries, and you have to understand that this is a very natural thing to have to ensure your longevity in life, to ensure that you're actually going to come out on top, that you will bloom, you will flower. You need to have these boundaries in place. But I want to finish off today by just helping you to understand that reclaiming your self-worth starts with your non-negotiables. Now, this is my point C for today. I haven't obviously entered all of the points in here because obviously my brain was somewhere else at that point, but I'm not going to re-record the whole episode, okay? So I need you to understand that reclaiming your self-worth, it starts with the non-negotiables. So know as a complete sentence. Silence is a strategy. Boundaries are not rude. They're actually how high-value women stay powerful. So you don't need to prove your goodness to anyone by shrinking. You don't need to prove your goodness to anybody but yourself. You don't need to explain your intuition away about why you feel it's not right to do something. You get to lead with grace and power in your life. So, if you are someone who is ready to go from being nice, being people pleaser, being the one that always works for everyone else, who's tired, who's exhausted, who just finally wants to be given the same level of respect that you feel you give to everyone else, then the shift actually starts inside of you. That's where it all starts. The spark activation, you can find out more in the link below. It is your personal roadmap to uncovering why you abandon your own needs and how to start showing up with clear boundaries, deep self-worth, and unshakable confidence. It's not a course, it's not a coaching program, it's nothing like that. You can find out more via the link below. Just look for Spark Activation in the description box and you'll be taken to the page that describes absolutely everything you need to know. But I want you to remember that if you've been taken advantage of in the past, it's not because you're weak, but it's because you have been sending signals through people pleasing that toxic people absolutely know how to exploit. So make sure that you've liked this episode, that you're subscribed for future episodes that are going to help you with this topic, and make sure that you are finding out more about the spark activation if this is something that you really would desire some support to move past, because it's something that until you move past, you're going to find every interaction with people like this very difficult to manage. And you could spend your whole life putting everyone else before yourself, putting yourself last, and coming to the end of your days and saying, why wasn't I there for me? This has got to change now. And you are capable of making that change. And we can absolutely do this together. So again, the link for the Spark Activation and how you can do that is down in the description. And I will see you either in Spark or next episode. You've got this.